So let's talk about something that a lot of people are curious about, but not everybody feels comfortable saying out loud: men who go down on women. Specifically, men who actually enjoy licking a woman's vagina. Yeah, we're going there. First off, let's just acknowledge the obvious. Pleasure in a relationship is not one-sided. It's not about what one person gets. It's about creating an experience that makes both people feel desired, valued, and turned on. And when a man is willing to fully embrace giving oral sex to a woman, it says a lot about who he is. Men who go down with passion, without hesitation, and without treating it like a chore are honestly some of the most confident, giving, and secure men out there. Why? Because they understand that intimacy isn't just about penetration or their own orgasm. It's about slowing down, exploring, and prioritizing their partner's pleasure. That's powerful. Think about it. A man who takes his time, who's not afraid to get close, who pays attention to her body's signals, and who actually enjoys her taste and her reactions is sending the ultimate message: your body matters. Your pleasure matters. I'm not rushing this. That's a man who values connection, not just conquest. And ladies, you know how much this changes everything? Because when you feel worshipped, when you feel like your body is celebrated instead of judged, it unlocks a deeper level of trust. That kind of man isn't just good in bed, he's memorable. He's the one you'll think about long after, because he made you feel desired in the most raw, unapologetic way. Now let's be real, there's still this weird stigma in some cultures about oral sex. Some guys avoid it, make excuses, or act like it's beneath them. But here's the truth, those men are missing out. They're missing out on the intimacy, the vulnerability, and the powerful bond that comes from giving without expecting anything back in that moment. So, yes, men who lick women's vaginas, who dive in, who love it, who make it are truly the most secure, the most giving, and honestly, some of the most attractive, because at the end of the day, it's not just about sex, it's about the attitude behind it, the generosity, the confidence, the pure pleasure of pleasuring. And that makes them unforgettable. Let's talk about confidence and generosity. Two of the sexiest traits a man can have, and they really shine when it comes to oral sex. When a guy enjoys going down on a woman, it's not just about the physical act itself. It's about what it represents on a deeper level. It's about his willingness to put her pleasure front and center, to celebrate her body without hesitation, and to show that intimacy is a two-way street, not just a one-man show. Here's the thing, a lot of men grow up being told that sex is about performance, about lasting long, about being the man in the bedroom. But that performance mindset can actually make them super self-conscious, like they're auditioning instead of connecting. A man who's confident enough to go down without shame, without worrying about what society thinks, and without making it transactional, is basically saying, I know who I am. I don't need to prove anything. I'm here to make you feel amazing. That kind of confidence is magnetic. And let's be real, confidence is not the same as arrogance. Arrogance is all about ego, about taking without giving, about needing to be the star. Confidence, on the other hand, is calm, grounded, and secure. It's not threatened by vulnerability. When a man gets down there and fully commits, he's showing he's comfortable in his masculinity, comfortable with intimacy, and comfortable with her. That sends such a powerful message. I accept you. I want all of you. I'm not rushing. I'm not squeamish. I'm here for the full experience. That's sexy as hell. Now let's talk about generosity. Generosity in sex doesn't mean just giving for the sake of giving. It's about the joy of giving. A man who loves licking, who takes his time and pays attention, isn't doing it to check a box or to rack up brownie points. He's doing it because he genuinely enjoys seeing her melt, hearing her moan, watching her body respond. That joy is contagious. It creates this feedback loop. The more she enjoys it, the more he enjoys it, and suddenly the bedroom feels like this electric space where both people are thriving, not just one. Generosity in sex also builds trust. When a woman feels that her body is being celebrated, not judged, she lets go. She surrenders. She feels safe to express herself fully, to be vocal, to move, to show her pleasure. And when that happens, the connection deepens. It's no longer just physical, it's emotional, it's psychological, it's intimate on a whole other level. And that comes from a man being willing to put her needs, her desires, and her experience at the top of the priority list. Think about how many women have been made to feel like their bodies are too much or not enough. Society throws so many insecurities at them. How they look, how they smell, how they taste, how they act. A man who kneels between her thighs and dives in with genuine passion is rejecting all of that noise. He's saying, you are enough. You're more than enough. I love this. I love you. That's healing. That's powerful. That's unforgettable. And here's the secret benefit. Men who are generous lovers often get more in return. Why? Because when a woman feels worshipped and satisfied, she naturally wants to give back. She wants to explore him. She wants to please him. She wants to reciprocate in her own way. Generosity breeds generosity. But the beauty is he's not doing it expecting anything. He's doing it because he actually enjoys the act. That sincerity is what makes it so magnetic. On top of that, a confident, generous man stands out because he doesn't play into outdated gender roles that say men take, women give. He flips that script. He says, I want to give too. And that's revolutionary in a culture that still, unfortunately, sometimes treats women's pleasure as optional. A man who values her orgasm, her arousal, and her joy is sending a message that she matters just as much as he does. That creates equality in the bedroom, and equality is hot. So when we say men who lick are the most confident and the most generous, it's not just about the act itself. It's about everything the act represents. It's about being brave enough to push past stigma, bold enough to focus on her, and secure enough not to care what anyone else thinks. It's about generosity that doesn't keep score, confidence that doesn't need ego, and intimacy that prioritizes connection over performance. That's why men who truly enjoy going down are unforgettable. They stand out. They don't just make sex fun. They make it meaningful. They make it intimate. They make it about partnership. And when a woman experiences that, she remembers it. She remembers him. Because generosity and confidence in the bedroom are not just sexy, they're rare. And rare things are always the most valued. Oral sex, especially when a man dives into it with enthusiasm, is never just about the act. It's not simply tongue on skin, it's a mindset, an attitude, a whole approach to intimacy. And that's where the magic lies. Because when a man treats going down on a woman as something he not only does but loves doing, he's revealing something powerful about himself. He's showing that he's secure, attentive, and invested in connection. That right there makes him stand out, not just as a lover, but as a partner who understands what intimacy really is. Let's unpack this. A man who goes down without hesitation is basically sending a silent message. I'm not afraid of closeness. I'm not afraid of intimacy. I'm not afraid of making this about you. That's huge. Because in a world where some men still think sex is all about what they get out of it, this kind of generosity flips the script. It says, I don't need to be in control every second. I don't need to rush. I want to slow down and focus on your experience. That shift in attitude is incredibly attractive. Think about how vulnerable oral sex can feel for women. You're literally laying yourself bare, every insecurity about your body, your scent, your taste, all front and center. That can be intimidating. But when a man goes down with passion, when he acts like he's savoring a 5-star meal instead of just checking something off a list, it dissolves that anxiety. It tells her, relax, you're delicious. I want all of this. That reassurance makes her feel safe. And when a woman feels safe, she lets go. She gets louder, wetter, more open, more confident, and that all circles back to him. But here's the real kicker. Oral sex, when done with the right mindset, isn't just physical. It's symbolic. It's a declaration. It says, I'm invested in you. I'm not afraid of vulnerability. I'm willing to give before I take. And that attitude makes a man unforgettable. Why? Because women remember not just what you did, they remember how you made them feel. A man who makes her feel seen, worshipped, and cherished is the kind of man she fantasizes about long after. Another layer here is attentiveness. Oral sex is not one size fits all. Every woman's body is different. A man who pays attention, who listens to her moans, watches her breathing, notices how her hips move, is showing that he's tuned in. He's not mindlessly repeating some porn routine. He's learning her. He's customizing his approach to her unique body. That attentiveness screams, I care enough to figure you out. And honestly, that's sexy far beyond the bedroom too, because it shows he's present, he's thoughtful, he's the type of man who pays attention in general. Now let's talk about the psychology of it. A man who embraces going down often radiates security. He's not insecure about his masculinity. He's not worried about whether the act makes him less of a man. Instead, he sees it as a strength, because it is. Real strength is being confident enough to be vulnerable, to give pleasure without needing to take something in that exact moment. That kind of security is magnetic because it's rare. Too many men are still tied up in toxic ideas of what sex should be, and it holds them back. The man who lets that go, he becomes unforgettable. And here's something women know deep down: the way a man treats her body in bed is often a reflection of how he'll treat her outside of it. If he's selfish in sex, chances are he'll be selfish in other ways. If he's attentive and generous in sex, chances are he'll bring that same energy into the relationship. Oral sex becomes this metaphor for how he values partnership: equal, attentive, giving, and playful. That's why women talk about these men like they're legendary. Because it's never just about the tongue, it's about the attitude behind it. What makes this even hotter is the confidence wrapped up in it. Imagine a man who's not hesitant, not squeamish, not tentative, but confident. He knows what he's doing, or at least he's willing to learn, and he owns it. He doesn't apologize, doesn't rush, doesn't act like it's a favor. He makes it an art form. That confidence puts a woman at ease, and when she feels that, she can fully let herself go. That's when the fireworks happen. And guess what? She's gonna remember him as the one who unlocked that experience. So when we say it's more than an act, it's about attitude. That's the real truth. Oral sex in this context is symbolic of a man who is generous, secure, attentive, and confident. And those qualities don't fade when the night ends. They stick in her memory, they color how she sees him, and they make him stand out from everyone else. She'll fantasize about him, crave him, and compare others to him not just because of what he did, but because of how he made her feel through the attitude he brought into the bedroom. That's why men who embrace oral sex with passion are unforgettable. It's not just about tongue techniques or stamina, it's about mindset. It's about signaling, I'm here for you. I value you. I love your pleasure. That's the kind of energy that creates deep intimacy, unforgettable nights, and women who think about you long after you've left.